your first warning.
Welcome to this heat of the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe, brought to you from West London. And we kick off with pretty gentle blinds, just 1,000 and 2,000. There's Teddy Sheringham. Those purple chips you see are 1,000. Barney Boatman, one of the more experienced men at the table. He was quoted at 4 to 1. Favourite is Liam Flood at 7 to 2. And remember, there are no prizes for second here. They're all playing for first place. Brings with it a spot in the final, and that carries with it a first prize of $120,000.
Yeah, it's all right, actually. Two.
Alongside me is Grub Smith. The favourite here is Liam Flood, but you could make a case for 2 or 3, including, I think, Teddy Sheringham.
Yes, Teddy has progressed from being one of those footballers who plays on the back of the coach. He is a regular in many London casinos and many tournaments. We see Barney Boatman making a move there with 3-4 of diamonds.
It's a real statement of intent, that, in the first hand.
Yes, he'll know that a lot of players tighten up, especially on TV, and we've seen that. Steve Cordy, a relative beginner, throwing away a monster hand. Liam Flood, maybe slightly more cagey.
And call.
He's going to try and keep Barney honest.
Don't use the back chest.
Makes the call.
Well, he
He's
has
got Barney dominated,
yes,
hasn't he?
Absolutely dominated. If a 4 comes down, Barney would be in terrible trouble.
Is that up to me?
Well, he's got an open-ended straight flush draw now, Barney.
Look at my cards, please. Oh, yeah.
If you come in with 3-4 and you hit an open-ended straight flush draw, you've got to think the gods may be on your side.
8.
Well, as we can see, Boatman is behind, but he is the favourite to win this hand.
Well, his draws are so powerful that given 2 random cards, he would win 2 times out of 3. And Liam Flood, having come this far and missed by a country mile, he may think discretion is the better part of valour and get out of this one. So far, it's only cost him about 5,000.
Barney 1, Liam 0.
Pass.
Well, he has put it down. He had no choice, really, once the flop came down.
Yeah.
So Boatman takes the first flop. I wonder if he'll keep up that pre-flop progression with rare cards like that. Several of these players in form, including Liam Flood, who won a decent event in Maidstone at the back end of last year with a 6-figure prize. Teddy looking down at plenty of taint, but under the gun doesn't want to get involved.
Teddy realising he'd have been way out of position with that King-Queen.
No shame in passing. Well done.
And it's a free ride for Liam Flood. No shame in passing, he says. Certainly no profit either.
A little bit of posturing from all 6 players so far. No real fireworks to this point.
2 to play.
Much?
2.
Kalakis gets rid.
Many rungs?
Pass.
Nice
2.
questions.
Teddy Sheringham wants to play and goes to raise. And he doesn't just do it with premium hands either.
Well, we saw him fold King-Queen.
Pass. 4 more.
Yeah.
Well, he's counting out chips. He's obviously a little suspicious there of Sheringham's raise.
And rightly so. Teddy has only unsuited connectors.
9.
Well, he's hit one of them.
Check or bet? Check.
Couldn't really have asked for anything more than that after trying to steal it pre-flop. And now he'll represent.
Yeah, Teddy will be fairly sure he hasn't been called by a man holding a 4. There's no real flush draw there. It would have to be a runner for Olsen. Remember, this is his first TV tournament. He won't want to make a fool of himself.
Not much to think about, I wouldn't imagine. Just for effect, really. And Sheringham, after hitting that flop, gets rewarded. So here are the basics of Texas Hold'em. First of all, one person is made the nominated dealer or button. The player to the left places the small blind, then the next player places the big blind. These are bets to get the action going. All players are dealt 2 cards face down, called the hole cards. Now everyone can fold, call or raise. The first person to bet is to the left of the big blind. Now the first 3 community cards are placed in the middle. This is called the flop. These are cards for all players to use to make the best hand. Then there's another round of betting, but this time it's the player to the left of the button who goes first. The next card is dealt. This is called the turn, followed by more betting before the final card, the river. We have a final round of betting, and all players left in the hand must show their cards. The best 5-card poker hand wins the pot. You're watching the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe, and it really is an international field. We have a Greek, an Irishman, a Dane, a Welshman, and 2 Englishmen here.
Sounds like a bad joke.
Pass 2.
Well, nothing funny about Teddy's
Pass.
cards. He gets rid of them in a hurry. Ulrich's out of the way, but our Greek shipping
Raise.
magnate, Achilles Kalakis, says I'll see a flop, and it is over to Steve Cordy, the gentleman from Caerphilly, has a raggy ace
7. Pass.
and raises.
He suspected that Kalakis just limped in, and he was dead right. First pot for Steve Cordy.
He's been quiet so far, but it's not how many you win, it's how much.
Well, Kalakis is the chip leader, but the table is embryonic at this stage.
Action on Ulrich Olsen.
To play. Pass 2.
He and Kalakis
Pass.
fold in quick order. Steve Cordy follows suit,
2.
and we're round to our button. That is Liam Flood, who has picked up the Johnny Moss, ace 10.
7.
There's the raise from Liam Flood, and Teddy Sheringham right behind him with pocket 10s. Must be thinking re-raise surely.
22.
And Barney Boatman's got pocket 9s.
And there's been a raise and a re-raise to Barney. He's got to work out where he thinks he is here.
Barney might have been considering a raise himself if Teddy had either folded or flat called.
What?
But now,
What's wrong? My name is Liam, right?
my feeling is that Barney will pass this.
I agree. He's getting a read on both of them.
It's pass or a massive raise. Sheringham staring straight ahead.
Call.
Well, he baffled me there. He's just called, wants to see a flop.
Just passing.
Pass.
Pass.
Liam has passed it.
Liam passes his ace 10. So we see a heavily dominated Barney Boatman. He's a 4-1 underdog.
2.
We know that one of
2,
Teddy's 10s
6.
has gone because Liam had it, but he doesn't need it right now. He's in front.
There's no chance a diamond flush can save Boatman either, because Sheringham has the higher diamond. So there's only 2 cards in the pack for Boatman if he plays. Look at Sheringham's heart rate. Well, he's used to playing in front of big crowds, but 72.
That is astonishingly chilled out for a man facing a big decision, possibly for his tournament life. And Barney, as befits a man with a worse pair, thumping away like someone in cardiac arrest. Look how ice cool Sheringham looks.
That's taking too long there, Bell. Okay.
Thinking.
No, no.
Yeah, I knew. I was watching him on television. I knew he was.
Teddy has pushed his chips across the line. I'm all in. Well, that should be enough to get rid of Barney. Of course, though, a really strong bet can look weak.
Well, what would Boatman put him on? Pocket aces, maybe?
Well, there was
Hard to put him on trips.
There's a re-raise pre-flop, so he has to put Sheringham either on ace-king or a big pair. Now he knows that there are four pairs bigger than his. He also knows Sheringham could have pocket 8s, pocket 6s, which could give him a full house, or pocket 2s. It's unlikely he'd have re-raised with those.
You would assume now, as we can see that heart rate decreasing, that Barney's going to chuck these away. And he does just that. Sheringham's picked up a big pot at an early stage. But credit to Barney there. He knew he was behind and he didn't chase.
How did you learn that one? Did you learn it in Dublin?
Well, that pot has catapulted Sheringham to the top of the leaderboard. He's got 128,000 now. Boatman, the short stack, but 80. Well, he's got enough to work his way back into proceedings here.
Very much. Barney didn't lose any more than he had to.
I think I've got a tough heat today. You know, the likes of Liam Flood, Barney Boatman, Achilles as well. I always seem to come up against him when I'm playing on the telly. And he always seems to knock me out as well, so I'll have to be on my toes now. I want to get my own back.
I'm too busy at the moment.
Champions League winner in 1999 when he was at Manchester United. Teddy Sheringham is the early chip leader here. First to act here will be Barney Boatman. The button is on Cordy.
2 to play. 2.
Not in first position with those two, says Barney.
Pass. 2.
Achilles
Call.
just calling again. Suited connectors. Wants a cheap look here.
Let's see what sort of mood Liam is in. Could be generous. Well, very generous. He's got out of the way. And Teddy Sheringham is going to get a free flop.
Any raise.
Unless he decides to get clever.
No.
Nope. Bluffs a raise. He's got the Doyle Brunson 10 deuce.
Ace.
Not much in this. Well, certainly not much in it now. There's an up and down straight draw for Achilles. And middle pair for Teddy.
Check.
Difficult for Sheringham to put Kalakis on an ace. Especially now another one's come on the turn.
Check. Check. 6.
Well, there is the straight for Achilles.
And aces and 10s for Teddy.
That 6 was good for me.
Is it?
Mm.
Can't bet the 6 though, can you?
Huh?
Can't bet the 6 though, can you?
Oh, Kalakis was actually telling the truth. 6 was good.
That 6 is good for me. If only Teddy knew how good.
Only 5 in there. Be careful.
I'll bet 6.
6.
Would love to see Sheringham raise him. But what a great laydown that was. Terrific laydown from Sheringham.
Yeah, being a great poker player is not about winning big pots all the time. It's about not losing big pots.
All right.
Here's the Bible as to what beats what. If all else fails, you've always got your high card. Next best is 1 pair. Better still, 2 pair. After that, 3 of a kind, also called trips or a set, followed by a straight, that's 5 in a row of any suit. Next up, a flush, 5 of the same suit in any order. You'll usually win with a full house, 3 of a kind plus a pair. That's unless your opponent has 4 of a kind, also called quads. Almost unbeatable is a straight flush, 5 in a row of the same suit. And top of the pops, a royal flush, that's a straight flush, ace high. This is the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. Our chip leader is Teddy Sheringham, who's made solid progress from the start. Enjoyed his best year in club football in 1999 when Manchester United won the treble. That dramatic last-minute goal that his strike partner Solskjaer scored against Bayern Munich in Barcelona.
Yes, Teddy provided the flick on for that, as well as scoring the first goal. That was a dramatic ending. Well, he's got a pretty good dramatic start to this tournament. He's charged ahead.
To play.
Now Boatman's picked up a suited ace. Been a bit quiet of late, Barney. A little card dead. Now he's going to play.
He's in early position. Perhaps a small raise up to around 12,000.
Call.
Just a call.
Pass.
Blinds are 2 and 4, remember.
Pass.
Looked like he considered throwing in a green chip. They're worth
Pass.
10,000.
Go. Any raise?
Well,
Liam
and Barney both being cagey. They're letting Teddy in cheap.
Jack. Queen. 7.
And
Check.
it's Teddy Sheringham who
Check.
makes top pair.
And check.
He has hit some cards today, Sheringham.
4. Check. Check. Eight.
Boatman betting. He's not got the best of it here.
Call.
Liam Flood wants to play with his jacks. Now, Teddy has a decision. He has got a top pair, but no kicker with it. And two opponents who both want to bet.
If Teddy were playing against the two amateurs, I'm sure he'd have folded already because he'd know that when they bet, they've normally got a hand. But against these two, he may suspect that his strings are being pulled.
Pass.
No, he didn't suspect it enough. He was a massive favourite and he's got out of the way.
9.
So it is Liam who's in front with the jacks now.
9.
Well, that card could get Barney into trouble.
Check.
And
Jack.
They both checked it in the end. They were to overcast to the 9. And Liam
Check.
Flood shows he has a pair of jacks.
Kicker.
And Teddy must be sick as a dog.
A big pot too. Taken down by the gentleman. A big smile from Teddy, who must be thinking what might have been. Still 6 remaining here. We've reached hand 29.
4 to
Get
play.
your coffee.
Pass.
Butler's in front of Boatman.
Terrible,
He didn't get his coffee.
Liam Flood trying to sort out his drinks order. Well, he might want to have a look at his Jack 6 of hearts first.
Nice.
Sheringham with a good hand again.
Well, Liam's raising into him.
11.
Teddy has him on the rack with a jack and a better kicker.
Gentleman Liam Flood makes it 11 to play.
Was that good, is it? Was that? It's the first time you said anything.
Yeah.
Are you special?
They just told me. Say something about Liam.
Teddy not used
And
to
a visitor to
hearing
your
the
country.
commentators actually speaking in his ear. John Motson
Pass.
obviously hides up in the press gallery.
Which can I afford?
Well, Boatman making as if to count his chips, but with those cards, suspect.
10s.
Oh,
3,000.
he's going to raise.
30,000.
3,000. He said 3,000.
30,000.
I know, hold on now.
3,000 actually wouldn't have been a legal raise
There's
anyway.
no such bet as 3, is there?
Twice the big blind is 4.
Yeah, and there was more than one chip, so the raise will go.
30.
If you do all this and then move all in, I'll be very annoyed.
You know? It's a very good idea. What have you got? 80 something
Something like that.
in total. 10, 20, 30, 40.
These two really playing at a higher level than everybody else on the table. They're managing to get players like
What's wrong,
Teddy
my
Sheringham
tie?
off big aces,
Yeah, I think it's nice.
and they're both making huge moves with rag
You know what
hands.
side it does go with?
It's
Well,
perfect.
Liam was asking for a
I'd
count.
like to see the suit that side does go with.
Oh,
19 more.
Bonnie. How much?
I can't even remember what I've got
19.
now.
19 doesn't sound too much, actually.
Why did you have to say that? You made it sound like not
Because I
too
asked him how much.
Yeah, you could have said loads or something. Or
Where's Roy the boy? Can I ask him? Is he here? No? What should I do?
Someone in the audience.
Anybody in the audience tell me what to do?
This
Huh?
is not Who Wants to
Push
Be a
all in.
Millionaire, Liam.
What do you say over in the East Wing?
there's a verbal declaration from
Did
the
you
audience.
say
Does it
fold?
go?
Did you? That girl said fold. I pass.
Pass.
Okay.
After
Who
all
didn't
that,
know that?
Liam
What a
Flood
waste of time.
passes.
It is
Cheers.
literally theatre from the Irishman.
Well, you can't wait for winning cards if you're Barney Boatman and you're relatively short stat. You have to
It was a
steal.
waste of
And
11
that was a
grand.
tremendous steal.
At least you
Just
didn't make
an
it
8
12,
high.
Liam.
The only player in my heat who I've really played and really know is Liam Flood.
who I've got a lot of respect for, and I expect him to start slowly, and then somewhere halfway through something will go off in his head and he'll start to really move, which is kind of how you have to play these things. So I'll be re-evaluating all the time what it means when Liam enters a pot.
The bright lights of the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. Teddy Sheringham has been the chip leader virtually from the start. Ulrich Olsen looking down at Jack 8 suited.
10.
Makes it 10,000 to go. And he will hope not to walk into a hand like this.
30.
Ace Queen. It's a re-raise from
30.
Liam. And poor old Ulrich, he's been trying some moves. He's tried it this time with Jack 8 of diamonds. And once again,
30,000.
he's found the more experienced players refusing to play ball with him.
30,000 was the raise from Flood.
If Ulrich gives this up, he'll be almost down to half the money he started with.
And when you get raised that much and you look down and see Jack high, it's very, very difficult to do anything other than chuck him away. And your chips as well, by the look of it.
Well, he's made the call.
Wow.
He's going to need to get very lucky on this flop. As you can see, he's a 6-4 underdog.
King.
Diamonds.
2 of them.
And 4.
Well, Ulrich Olsen is pretty much committed now.
Liam announces all in.
Flood's gone all in with no part of that. Olsen has the flush draw.
He would be a 1 in 3 chance of him making this flush draw if he calls. But you have to fancy that if he doesn't call, then he really has very little chance of coming back and winning this heat. And remember, there are no prizes for second. Sometimes you have to take a risk. You have to roll the dice. Does Ulrich Olsen from Denmark have what it takes to put all his chips in the middle with just a draw?
Call.
Well, he has made the call,
From Ulrich.
and of course a jack or an 8 would work for him as well as a diamond. So you've got quite a few outs here.
What do you have?
Ace Queen.
Flood has Olsen covered.
You can see that Olsen actually is a marginal favourite with his draw. Needs to be red.
Bring those 2 cards in.
Right colour, wrong suit. It's got to be a diamond, a jack or an 8.
Otherwise our beginner will be taking an early bath. How cruel will the river be?
It's a diamond!
It is a
On
diamond!
the river, and that's a really crippling blow for Liam Flood. Desperately cruel.
31.
And Ulrich Olsen, 1 card away from being out, has now got a barrel load of chips.
1,000.
He is smiling. You have to say Liam played that hand perfectly. He did everything right.
Ulrich wins the
But
pot.
poker can sometimes turn around and smack you in the face
on,
like
give
a
him a
wet
slap.
fish. And a very sporting applause from Liam.
That's why they call him a gentleman.
Yes. Well, inside, he may be thinking some words, which you wouldn't hear from a gentleman, but on the exterior, he's as serene as a swan.
Okay.
Chelsea or Barcelona?
Barcelona.
Barcelona.
Must be Chelsea.
ABBA or the Beatles?
Beatles.
ABBA.
Dead Heat.
Snails or mussels?
Muscles.
Snails.
Muscle.
Poirot or Clouseau?
Crusoe.
Lusa.
Can you see it?
Lapland or lap dancing?
Lapland.
Lap dancing.
Lap dancing.
Welcome back to the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. I'm Trevor Harris, alongside me is Grub Smith. Boatman first to act has folded.
Pass.
Olsen's cards go the same way.
Call. Pass.
Kalakis is
Two.
playing. Round to Liam Flood.
I call.
Call. Any raise.
Not with two sneakies now.
Check.
Sheringham doesn't trust either of his opponents here. Not got much of a hand either, mind you.
Queen. 4. And 4.
They've all missed it.
Check. Check.
Absolutely nothing for anybody from that flop, and we're going to see fourth street.
And a 4.
Okay.
Check.
Well, Kalakis
Check.
might suspect he's ahead. 3 4s, ace queen.
8. Check.
He still is in front. But I can't see anybody betting at this.
Here comes Teddy.
10,000.
Teddy's representing the full house.
The look of resignation, wasn't it, from Kalakis, as though he just expected it to be checked down and maybe thought he'd get through with his ace.
No.
Pass.
Pass is the best hand.
Pass.
Pass.
Give Teddy Sheringham a lot of credit there.
He had the worst hand, and he took it down.
Well, he knew there was no way he could have won it otherwise.
Last time there was 2
Prepared
4s
to
on the flop, he
invest.
bet it
And he got rewarded.
Beg your pardon?
You have a very good
Button
memory,
is
don't
on
you?
Liam
Sometimes.
Flood, so the action will be on Ulrich Olsen, who just
wait,
delivered
no.
that hammer blow
Pass.
with the rivered flush.
Pass.
Oh, a rock.
King exposed.
Kalakis accidentally turns over a king.
Raise.
First time that Cordy's been involved for quite some while.
So-
Suited connectors. Liam's got pocket 2s.
Well, he is short stacked. He might have been considering a bit of a move himself with the pocket deuces. I fancy if anybody else had had a go at him, the chips might be in the middle already. But Cordy has been absolutely tight as a drum.
Plus Flood knows he's still got Sheringham and Boatman behind him.
Doing some housekeeping with his chips. But crucially, is he going to push them onto the orange part of the bays? He can't afford to squander anything,
Pass.
and that is a very solid pass.
Sheringham says no, so it's round to Barney.
8 more.
Barney's
Oh,
picked up sevens. And he folds, and that really is the power of reputation, because Steve Cordy has played very few hands, and Barney getting rid of sevens from the big blind.
Didn't think too long about it, although Flood obviously took some time. Cordy there.
I think it might be, yeah.
See how tight he is. 3 hands. He has won them all. He's got just 9,000 chips fewer than he started with. Only one player will go through to the final from this heat and have a crack at the $120,000 first prize.
4 to play.
Button on Liam Flood. Won the European Poker Championship back in '97.
Pass.
Had a distinguished career since then and been very, very
Call.
powerful in the last couple of years. Been running extremely well.
Raise. Raise.
Unusually for a top poker player. He isn't sponsored, so he gets to invest in himself and back himself.
Well, Cordy
Also-
must play now
19 total.
with a suited ace-queen, and Liam's got decent cards too.
But again, the raise has come from the tightest player on the table. Normally Liam with a short stack might be pushing these cards,
Pass.
but look at that, that's years of experience
Pass.
coming into it. He's reading Cordy,
Pass. And pass.
and everybody gets out of the way.
By the time the big blind comes
You're
back
watching
in,
the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe.
6 to flag.
Button in front of Teddy Sheringham, and very handsome cards in front of Tycoon Achilles Kalakis. He's got an ace and a lady.
Call. 6.
and he makes a call for 6,000.
What's Cordy thinking about?
Well, this would be quite loose for Cordy.
Pass.
Well, as expected,
All
he
in.
folds. And Liam Flood, what a move!
Well, right move, wrong time.
Liam announces all in.
Yeah.
No
He's
way
not
that
top, but
Kalakis
anybody
can
else
get
is
away
with
from
me.
ace-queen against the short stack.
Pass.
He thinks you might want to know what you've just done because of the Alzheimer's, you know.
40.
40 total.
What?
The good
Just
news
remind me
is
what just
that
happened, Liam.
Liam is
All
going to
right.
have live cards against almost
Pass.
anybody who calls him with a deuce 3. I don't think Achilles
Call.
is
We
going
have a
to
call.
fold, and it is a call.
Cards, please.
Achilles calls.
Is this the wrong one to call?
And Liam's tournament life at stake.
Okay.
I think I'm in
40.
a slight little bit of bother.
40 total.
I'm in a slight bit of bother.
I don't know.
I am.
A slight understatement too.
Achilles shows
I suppose it's evens.
ace queen.
Not quite.
Nearer 70-30 than evens.
Didn't he know he wasn't passing that time?
Over-
He's just
in a bit more.
passing.
3 times out of
In-
10,
in-
Liam
in-
Flood will win this. He's just got to hope that this is
Liam
one of
has
those
a
3
2-3
occasions.
offsuit, and Achilles have ace queen offsuit.
That's it. Okay.
Will you tell the people what I have?
You need to know Liam's got deuce 3. Okay, let's go flop.
Liam showing he's got the nerve to bet it.
9,
Can he hit
10,
it?
Not so far.
Is it
Not going to
9,
call.
10, 8.
Possibility of a straight to split the pot. We're
how?
clutching at straws
Liam
though.
would like a 2 or a 3.
Well, unfortunately, the jack would give Achilles a bigger straight.
And
That's a
again.
terrible call.
So,
6-7 would work.
Eight.
That's
Two
no good.
cards
Got to
and
be a
eight.
3 or a 2.
yeah, it needs to be low, or Liam Flood is going to be the first man walking.
No miracle card for Liam Flood.
Liam
Who
Flood.
is our first casualty in this heat. Taken down by Achilles Kalakis, who couldn't fold the ace-queen against the short stack. And the gentleman is going to have to leave us. We're down to 5 at the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe.
J.
But it's a nice table. I'd still like to be there. Like if you offer me a rebuy now, I'd certainly take it.
Chip leader is Teddy Sheringham. It's been that way throughout. He has 154,000.
54.
Kalakis in second. The short stack is the Welshman Steve Cordy, who says he only took up poker because he was on holiday in Vegas and didn't play because he couldn't play. He taught himself, and he got into this event by winning a $270 buy-in. Button in front of
Pass.
Cordy, which means that it's going to be
Pass.
Olsen to act. He doesn't want to know, nor does Kalakis.
6.
Folded round to Cordy on the blind. He's
3.
not interested. Just the blinds to play.
Any raise.
Sheringham flat
No
calling.
raise.
Baiting the trap for Boatman.
Boatman
8,
giving him a big
queen,
old stare.
3.
A gut shot straight
Check or
draw
bet.
for Barney Boatman. A 10 would give him a straight.
7.
No more free cards, says Teddy.
That's a nice size bet. He's trying to tempt Barney into something here.
It's only a gut shot, though.
Barney may fancy he can outplay Teddy.
$20 total.
And he's pulled the trigger.
And he's pulled it at the wrong time against a player sitting there with pocket kings. Sheringham well aware that Boatman could be making a move, or he could be sitting there with ace-queen, in which case he'd still be ahead.
Yes, Teddy must fancy his chances.
They often accuse footballers of acting. And he's doing a reasonable job of this.
Yes, he looks pretty miserable. He plays for West Ham, so he's used to bad news.
You can feel the letters, Grub.
Re-raise.
And he has re-raised.
37 more.
And that should signal the end
57
of
total.
Barney's participation in this hand.
Barney doesn't need to get clever here.
Pass.
Teddy wins the hand.
Good play from Sheringham. He induced that bet from Boatman, came back over the top, and there was nothing Barney could do.
Teddy, a familiar
Call.
face at many London casinos. And nightclubs.
A7 suited for Cordy.
Pass.
Very tight
6.
fold again.
Pass. 3
Sheringham
more.
says no.
Achilles has limped in. Barney can join the party from the small blind.
Oh, and won't he just?
Right, Barney has been waiting for this hand. He's made some very tight folds. Now is the time to reap the harvest.
17 total.
Well, Olsen can't call that raise.
But Kalakis, he says, all right, let's have a peep.
And that's great news for Boatman.
Well, Kalakis will want to see diamonds.
8, 9, 2.
Just one of them, but he
Circle
has
bet.
made top pair. Kalakis could get into bother here. Top pair, decent kicker.
Especially because he knows a Boatman bet might just be a big bluff.
Yes, Barney has played a lot of hands.
17.
All in.
Barney bet 17.
All in a call in no time.
He's all in.
Great
We have
news
a
for
call.
Boatman.
Kalakis collapsed. He knew he was in
Barney
trouble.
shows
That
pocket
insta
aces.
call from Barney Boatman.
He's going to need some help.
Achilles
Running
shows
diamonds, a king or a 9.
Diamonds.
This is, well, it's Barney standing
Nine.
up,
That's
but
no
he's
good.
safe as houses. That's the diamonds got rid of. It has to be a 9 or a king. Only a king or a 9 will keep Achilles
This needs a 9
Kalakis
or a king.
high on our leaderboard.
Oh, no! Two
horrible
pairs.
disaster.
2 pairs, kings and 9s.
That's a nightmare for Boatman. And he's out.
He sinks to his knees, and can you blame him? He did everything right. He induced an all-in from Achilles Kalakis, and it's takes the handshake beautifully. What a champion Barney is.
How often do pocket aces get cracked like that? Very painful on the river. Barney has to leave us, and we're down to 4.
I did enjoy the tournament. I think it was a nice atmosphere. It's a nice touch having an audience. Gives a little bit of, lifts you up a bit, and they're a good bunch. Of course, I know Barry and Donna from a long time ago at the Vic, and so I felt at home. And a nice bunch of players. So you know, a nice guy's going to win it.
Well, few would have predicted we'd have lost the 2 most fancied players as the first 2 casualties. Liam Flood was the 7-2 favourite, he's gone. Barney Boatman was the 4-1 second favourite, he's gone. Both taken down by Kalakis, who is the new chip leader with just shy of 200,000 in chips. And for the first time for a long while, Teddy Sheringham has been relegated to second. But he's not far behind, and Cordy and indeed Olsen still have a decent chance as well.
Very much anybody's game here, Trevor, especially now the big guns have been sent packing.
6 to play. 6.
Pass from Kalakis and round to Steve Cordy.
Reaching for chips with a Jack-7.
He is now loosening up. He realises he was probably playing a little too
18.
tight. Trying to use that reputation he developed in the first hour for being a rock to bring in these now quite valuable blinds.
Very little separating the top 3 here in this heat of the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. Kalakis, Sheringham and Cordy.
You think I stupid hear it, yes?
All with a terrific chance here. Olsen is the man playing catch-up. Cordy with paint, but not interested in that position.
Television viewers, do you want me to answer that?
16.
Teddy bumps it up with a suited Queen 8.
10 more.
Gets rid of Olsen, but he may
How many letters?
find Kalakis slightly harder to dispose of.
16 and Achilles calls.
5, 6, king. Check or bet?
Flop is 5-6 king.
Kalakis has made kings.
Check.
Nothing at all for Sheringham and no spades on that flop, but he's going to bet it anyway.
15.
Can't see Kalakis putting this down for a second. Just wondering whether he's going to go back over the top there.
Well, he looks like he's just got a tax bill. Couldn't look more gloomy, but the chips are doing the talking for him.
15,000. Achilles raises
3,000 more. 45 total.
to 45,000 in total.
Don't like that, do
30,000
we?
more.
He's trying to work the audience, Teddy.
Got all serious all of a sudden, are you? I
Yes.
play along with your joke, make you look funny on the telly, and then you re-raise me.
You raise first.
Pass.
Okay, Achilles wins
No,
the
fair.
hands.
Fair enough. Teddy asked the question, he got the answer, and he was fluent enough in poker to understand it.
Ten to play.
Those blinds really starting to bite for Ulrich Olsen in particular. Got to pick his moment and make his move very soon.
Sheringham on the button.
Raise. 30 total.
He raises with near suited connectors. That's good enough to get rid of Olsen. Good enough to get rid of Kalakis. You don't need the best hand to win, you just need the strongest right arm, or in Sheringham's case, the left arm.
We've lost two of the most highly respected poker pros in Europe in this heat. Liam Flood has gone. Barney Boatman has gone. We're left with four. And it's very tight. Kalakis, Cordy and Sheringham. Just 20,000 chips between them.
Pass.
Sheringham didn't like his ace in that position.
Our short stack may be tempted by the pretty colours in front of him, but he will walk into big trouble if he is. He's raised it.
40. Go. Pass. Queen. 3. And 5.
Oh, that's a good flop for Olsen. He's paired his queens.
All in. Pass.
He's all in and Kalakis all out.
Yes. Had there been one more diamond on the flop, I'm sure Achilles would have looked him up. But Fortune there, smiling on the Dane.
Do you want to tell him now?
Yeah, just obviously watch with your string bet, yeah?
It's incredibly
As you throw your
close
chips
in this
in,
heat of
so
the
you need to put more
Betfair.com
in
Poker
one go,
Masters of Europe.
otherwise
Fewer than
can't put them in the end drop.
30,000
Yeah, I
chips
understand.
separate the four remaining players, and that's how the pie is split. There ain't much between them.
Definitely anybody's game.
Steve Cordy is the chip leader.
10
This
to
is
play.
hand 75. Still got four, and they're all in with a live chance.
Raise it.
Raise. 25 total.
He's raising again, has a genuine hand.
9 a call.
Olsen calling with
He
ace-8
makes
suited.
25,000 to play.
If an ace comes down,
Ulrich
it could be all she wrote for Ulrich.
King.
And
Ace.
there it is.
And jack. Check.
Is there any way Olsen can get out of this?
Well, Olsen resisted the temptation to push all in straight away. He wants to see what Cordy does. Cordy's having a good look at the chip stack, diminutive though it may be, in front of Ulrich Olsen. I say diminutive, it's probably about 40,000 less than his own.
Apart from top pair with a decent kicker, Cordy also picked up a straight draw.
That's right, the 10 would give him a Broadway straight.
How much will this bet be? Plenty.
36 total.
And he has to think now, Olsen, if he makes his call,
36,000.
he's effectively committing his tournament to this hand. This is a clever bet from Cordy. It's not going to
Ulrich
get
passes.
through.
Steve wins the hand.
Still a big pot though. Cordy extends his lead at the top of the leaderboard. He started slowly. At the moment, he is right on top. Ulrich Olsen is the short stack with just over 100,000. He's first to act here. And a very playable hand too. Jack Queen suited. Would expect him to raise with these.
25 total. Pass.
Kalakis passed his pocket threes in an instant. Now Sheringham, suited ace.
15 more.
The price is right. 15 to see a flop.
Call.
We're going to see a flop.
25,000 to play and Teddy Sheringham calls.
Teddy, a marginal favourite.
5. King.
Flush!
Oh, and
a nut flush too.
But Teddy has made aces.
And he will be concerned about those spades. And he might want to bet it now, Sheringham.
He is standing on the trap door. And this could go horribly wrong for the footballer. He's putting all his chips in the middle.
No!
All in.
It's a nightmare call.
Olsen has the absolute nuts at the moment.
Call.
Oh, there's no decision at all for Olsen. And Sheringham is drawing. Needs runner. He needs a miracle here.
He needs to make a full house somehow.
Oh.
Sees the nut flush.
What's that?
Well,
Okay, Teddy shows ace deuce.
he needs to pair the board or get an ace.
Or it has
A
queen
deuce
jack of spades.
might help
or
as
it is a
well.
flush.
It's not looking good.
Sheringham is really called. I think he's effectively given this up. There is not really any tension as far as he's concerned.
6.
So
Well, and now it's all over.
Yep.
Nut
It's
flush.
all over.
I don't know.
Teddy still in this tournament. Teddy Sheringham had more chips than Ulrich Olsen. But he is very much bottom at Christmas.
It won't be long.
Well, he played the ace rag and he got into trouble, and now he's pretty much committed to playing any two cards.
Cordy still leading the way, but there's not much between he, Olsen and Kalakis.
Poker, such a topsy-turvy game. Well, it doesn't seem so long ago that Teddy Sheringham was top of the tree and Cordy and Olsen were struggling.
All in, says Teddy. Didn't need to see much to make that move.
All in.
He saw the paint. Oh my good lord, he's walked into Olsen.
38,000.
Now, does Olsen isolate Sheringham here by going over the top? Or does he try and suck somebody else in? Just a
Or it
call.
calls.
Well, he wanted to get Kalakis
Showdown.
involved.
Pass.
This shows queen 3 of clubs.
Teddy's going to need plenty of
Against
clubs here.
Ulrich's Cowboys. Get kings.
And this is the poker equivalent of Aldershot taking on AC Milan.
Jack.
Flop was jack.
10.
10.
5.
5.
Going to need runners here, Sheringham.
5.
And that is all over.
And a 5.
Full house in the end for Olsen, who finally takes out Teddy Sheringham. He crippled him a few minutes ago. And the former England striker has to leave us in form.
I had a little spell. I think everyone has their little spells of cards and feeling good about themselves. And I rode mine for a little while and accumulate a few chips and then proceeded to give them back.
Three-handed then. And the value of a starting hand, of course, far less than it was at the start. Button now is first to act, and Olsen has a very big hand. Ace-10.
35.
35 total.
Healthy
Pass.
raise.
25 more.
Now, Cordy may be tempted with his Jack-10. No, not this time.
If it comes down to who's the most aggressive, you'd have to quite fancy Cordy. Olsen there's had a bit of luck. Look, Cordy has shown the ability to fire when he's had none of it, Grub.
That's it. He's shooting people dead and he's using blanks.
Call. 5 more. Call. Any raise. Check.
Well, again, Cordy's been allowed to see a flop for free here.
Well, we are family in
6.
this one. Oh,
Check.
spades.
One more spade.
And 5.
Well, he's got an open-ender. And a flush draw. Pocket
Check.
sixes, or pair of sixes, I should say, for Olsen. And for Kalakis with a better kicker.
25.
25 from Cordy with the flush draw.
Well, how scared are Kalakis and Olsen of a jack?
Pass. All in.
Immediate all in.
160.
Cordy now has to sit there and work out how many outs he's got. Does he want to go for it?
This has moved in 175,000.
Just wonder what Kalakis is thinking here. Is he putting Cordy on hand like ace-jack?
I think if he had ace-jack, he'd have called already. I think Kalakis will know he's pretty much on a draw.
We have a call.
They're over the
Made
line.
the call.
Well, strong draw there.
Well, it is a strong draw. Any 3, any 8, any 7, any spade.
These shows 7 of 4 of spades. And Achilles shows ace 6.
The pivotal hand in this heat.
7.
There's the 7.
7.
He's in front. Now Achilles needs an ace or a 6.
So sad way to lose that is. Ace of hearts.
It's not there. And 7s and jacks are going to take Kalakis out, and that was a really gutsy call from Cordy. Kalakis asked him the question, Cordy thought about it, worked out the odds, called him down, and he's taken him out. And we're heads up.
Table was great fun. I mean, I knew a few of the players there. Liam, Barney, Teddy, so it was good fun. Bit of chit-chat, good laugh.
This is the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe, and we are heads up. And who'd have predicted these two would be left? The two rank amateurs, Ulrich Olsen and Steve Cordy. They were both 6-to-1 shots at the outset. They've seen off the likes of Liam Flood and Barney Boatman, Teddy Sheringham and Achilles Kalakis. Cordy has the advantage, but of course one double through from Olsen successfully, and he'd be the chip leader.
Poker, such a Cinderella game. Olsen has never played live before.
There's Helen, nearest the camera. She's Steve Cordy's girlfriend. And of course, they know whoever wins this heads-up duel will be guaranteed $19,000. Average hand starting out in No Limit Texas Hold'em is Queen 7. And when your head's up, anything like that's usually good enough. A try and steal. Olsen has found a pair, which is even better. Pocket 4s.
With 20. 35 total.
Quite nice. A similar raise to the one that Cordy made in the first heads-up hand.
Well, if Cordy calls, it will be pretty much a coin toss. The two overcards against the pocket sailboats.
Re-raise.
He's re-raising.
A raise.
Fantastic aggression from Cordy.
With 40 more.
And now Olsen is thinking, the best I could be in is a race. If I'm up against a bigger pocket pair, I'm in big trouble. All in!
Counter.
All in.
Yeah, Ulrich made it.
Cordy says
35
count
to
it.
play. Steve has re-raised to 75. Ulrich has now moved all in.
172.
Pretty cool still, Steve Cordy. That heart rate going down. Well, last time we saw that, his chips were in the middle. Look at those percentages.
He had to make such a tough call against Achilles Kalakis.
Well, there's no real pressure on Olsen. He's announced all in. There's nothing he can do.
The all-in has worked. Cordy gets on the ejector seat, and that's a huge pot for the Dane.
Very, very close in this heads-up battle. Look at that, 14,000 only separating the Welshman from the Dane. And with blinds at 5 and 10, it's almost exactly a level game. 96th hand.
Button on Steve Cordy. He'll be first to act.
8 to play.
He's got a 5-7.
Cool. Any race.
I think there will be a race here.
30 more. 45 tail.
Tried to see a cheap flop Cordy, and Olsen wasn't having any of it.
The bet was maybe too big and too quick to attract a customer, but that does put the Dane Ulrich Olsen in the lead for the first time in this heads-up challenge.
Thank you.
A narrow lead for Olsen.
8.
And on the button, Cordy to act first, and he's found a suited ace. He'll be racing here.
And look, Olsen also has an ace. They've got the same hand. Cordy a slight favourite because his cards are suited, but this is going to be all about bottle.
$25,000 more to Olsen.
Cool.
Steve made it 40,000 to play, and Ulrich has called.
And he wants to see a flop.
3, 2,
Oh.
9.
They've both got a draw to the straight. A 5 would give them both the wheel.
It's a guaranteed split pot now, whatever happens.
Check.
Both players check.
3. Check or bet?
Check.
Check. 30.
Nice bet from Cordy.
Will it be enough to get rid of the Dane?
Raise 30.
Steve bets 30,000.
Gives him a definitive answer.
60,000.
He's made some big calls today, this young man from Wales. This would be the biggest of the lot in some ways.
And the problem is, if he does call, he's going to have to put another bet in on the river, he thinks. And he has made it.
Well, he does have the button. We'll see what Olsen does
7.
first. 7 is no help.
All in.
Oh, what a great bet!
What a bet from Olsen. And surely Cordy can't call now.
Ulrich wins the pot.
That's a fantastic play from the Dane.
What a crucial pot. That's what you call a decision pot, and it has really affected the chip leaderboard.
3-1 now. Olsen's chip advantage. That was fearless against the Welshman, who just had nowhere to go once the all-in went in after the river.
Olsen may not have been playing long, but he's learned fast.
Steve Cordy said the defining moment in his poker career was qualifying online for this tournament. And remember, he was the chip leader for a fair while here.
And King 9 in front of Cordy, not to be sniffed at either. Heads up, a very powerful hand.
Call and raise 20.
Now, does Cordy think that Olsen is trying to take advantage of his chip position here? Does he think he's being bullied?
He can afford 20,000 to see a flop and still get away from this hand. He's got King 9. He is out of position though.
All in.
All in, he says. We know it'll be an automatic call.
There is no way on God's green creation that Olsen is going to pass these cards.
I'm all in.
All in. So,
I'll call.
and call.
Cordy is going to be drawing pretty thin once he sees the bad news. He's going to need a cowboy.
And his face just fell. He is going to need, as you say, one of those kings to ride to the rescue. His chance of making a straight pretty much kiboshed by the fact that Olsen has the queens. Will it be a king to save Cordy?
Jack. Jack.
It is! Oh! And that is a sickener for Olsen.
Olsen has done everything right. He can still win it, though.
Queen would make him the house.
Come on, Queen.
He has 2 outs. Has to be a lady.
It's not there. It's a full house. Jacks for the kings. Cordy very fortunate. He acknowledges that there to Olsen. And Olsen, who had victory snatched away in the cruelest possible fashion. And now, Cordy's chip leader again.
Eight to play.
Since we've been heads up, I think Olsen has been maybe the stronger. He was very unlucky not to win outright earlier in this duel.
And he made a great all-in move with the ace-4 when Cordy also had ace-4.
$40 total.
40 with queen 4. Now, connecting cards.
Call.
We're going to see a flop.
Makes it 40,000 total.
This could get quite tasty.
9. Queen. Ace.
Middle pair
Check up.
for Cordy.
A huge favourite.
Check.
Check.
I think he went to his chips there, Olsen, and
Check.
he saw a reaction
Players check.
from Cordy and then checked it.
Ace. Check or bet.
Check.
Check.
Cordy will be less worried about Olsen
Check.
having an ace now. 2 in the middle.
Ace.
And 3 in the middle.
Check or bet.
Full house.
He's either going to get beaten by quads,
Check.
or he's
Check.
going to win with his full house. Cordy looks as though he's going to bet. What would he do if Olsen went
40.
all in?
Steve bets 40,000, wins the hand.
It's not going to happen.
Have a long think.
Yeah.
But he's taken on the pot and he's back in front, Cordy. Good news for Helen, his girlfriend there. You're watching the Betfair.com Poker Masters of Europe. We're heads up. Steve Cordy against Ulrich Olsen, a Welshman and a Dane. Cordy has the advantage. He also has a Jack Queen.
35.
Blinds are up now to
35.
10 and 20,000.
55 total.
Rick Olsen has a minnow of a hand. 2-4 in spades. He's counting chips out.
Call.
Okay,
Just
Steve
a
makes
call.
it 55,000
With
to
4-2
play.
of spades.
Well, the raise might have been better than there.
Queen. 8.
Well, it's a
10.
great flop
Flop comes Queen 8-10.
for Steve Cordy. Top pair. 9 as well would make him the straight.
All in.
Steve
He
checks.
says all in. Olsen's walked into the trap.
Count.
Cordy's asked for a count. Surely he's got to call.
He's got top
Rory
pair.
moves
He's
all
got a
in.
gut shot straight draw. There's
Reasonable
no
kicker.
way. Yeah, there's no way he can fold this.
And Olsen's going to need an absolute miracle.
He may be worried. He's thinking king, queen, ace, queen. He's thinking maybe a set, but it's heads up. He's got top pair. He's got a gut shot straight draw. He's made brave calls before.
180,000.
And he knows, crucially, he'll still be in if he calls and loses. Look at those percentages. He's dominating the day.
He should be looking at Olsen. Olsen's taking the drink again. Is he going to make this call? Biggest call of his poker life. Surely he can't lay it down.
Do you want to call or are you pushing all in?
Very good question. Well, it was rhetorical, really. Can he give himself the right answer?
He's talking himself into it. A lot of poker players talk themselves out of it. This is good for Cordy.
Cool.
Great call from Cordy, and he's a huge favourite here to win this heat.
Good call.
Olsen is going to need running spades or running twos and fours. This could be it for the day.
Ulrich shows deuce 4 of
He
spades.
shakes his head. One card could finish this. Oh,
2 or a 4.
Giving Ulrich a pair of 2s. Still the pair of queens.
a 2 or a 4 required, or the Welshman wins it.
It's kind of his poker life. It's not there. It's a straight there for Cordy, and Cordy has won it. Olsen really gambled. He went all in with nothing. Cordy's bottle held. The biggest poker payday of his life, guaranteed $19,000. He's going to be in the final where he could win $120,000. The two internet boys have given us a real battle, and Cordy's come out on top.